Happy Monday and good morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mackenzie Lake. Let's get into our full work week forecast. So I'm tracking low pressure up in the Pacific Northwest, and this is going to act as a cooling system and kind of like an air conditioning system for the Central Coast as we head through a rather mild work week. So this low pressure system will cause a lot of activity for our northern communities. Maybe we'll see some mid to high level clouds by the afternoon, but I'm going to be tracking temperatures around 5 to 10 degrees below average all the way through the extended. So with low pressure being far up into the north, I'm going to be looking at some gusty sundowner winds every evening. Here's a look at San Luis Obispo hour by hour, holding with the single digits until we rise about 2 p.m. around 13 miles per hour. We're going to hold out with those double digits all the way through the evening, not up to advisory level. However, those sundowner winds will be important if you're traveling through the Gaviota corridor or if you're on a boat closer to Point Conception. So let's talk about timing and impacts with my future track wind modeling. By 2 p.m. we'll start to crank up for the entire coverage zone with that north and northwesterly flow. Take a peek at the interior areas as those winds jump up to about 20 miles per hour sustained. We're looking at 20 mile per hour readings in Gaviota, and as the sun begins to set, now we're crossing into the dinner time frame. Well, now our winds are cranking up even further. So areas near Gaviota and Point Conception will be impacted the most. And again, if you're traveling through the area in a high-profile vehicle, it's advised to have both hands on the steering wheel. If you're traveling in boats, especially near Point Conception, those waters may be choppy at times, and I'm going to be watching out for our waves and some interesting swells as we approach Thursday and Friday of this week. So let's take a look at your marine forecast here. My long-range modeling showing that through the Baja by Thursday, we start to see an increase in some stronger swells, and if we zoom in closer to Saturday, well, now we're going to be looking at some abnormally strong swells for the south-facing beaches. We'll have to watch out if the National Weather Service does issue any watches or warnings. And again, if you are a boater or someone who loves the marine conditions, well, you want to keep an eye here as I track more of these hazardous conditions into the evening. Let's talk about our temperatures today. So it's comfortable if you're heading out the door. We'll max out at that 72-degree reading in Santa Barbara with clearing skies. However, we're waking up to the misty marine layer, and that'll be a pattern each and every morning. Very dense and strong onshore flow will greet us with those cloudy skies. Some areas of fog will develop in the morning as well, but nice mixing and nice clearing. My forecast calls for 66 in Napomo and Arroyo Grande, 83 up in Paso Robles. So if you're heading to about day number 4 or 5 of the Mid-State Fair, things should be feeling pretty nice, all things considered. And then down in Ventura County, I'm forecasting for 60s and 70s. Have a wonderful Monday and a great work week.